First things first, take the wheels off so we can get best access to the frame. And when we get to cleaning the wheels real quick, you know, they're off and easier to clean. So you just need some soapy water and, you know, some towels. And you can do a really good job cleaning it. I just mix up like a little bit of any kind of cleaner and the rest water, super cheap. I got all these towels from my mom's friend who was a nurse for free. And I try and use them till they're fucking just absolutely gone. So first things first, before you even check if anything's mechanically wrong, is just give it a wipe down. And there's nothing special to this. Like, you can't really mess up cleaning your bike. And I've been sweating on this thing on the trainer, not where, you know, sweat's getting on bolts and stuff. I cover that up, but like the frame, you know, dripping down, dirty. Like, I'm not concerned about that in the moment whenever I'm riding. Like, it does nothing. So we're just gonna give it a wipe down. So yeah, he's going hard already, guys. Underneath, around the headset bearings, inside the brakes. You can check your brakes, make sure you don't have anything embedded, like little metal chunks. Now, if you're doing like a crazy thorough job, you can get some brushes. If you want to do a drivetrain clean, you pull the chain off, pull your derailleurs off, your cassette off. You know, you're gonna need some specialty tools. But just basic stuff, you can almost get away with using your multi-tool that you keep in your saddlebag. Like, you don't need anything special. And any buildup, where you at? On your derailleur pulleys, like this right here, wipe that shit off. Just wipe it off. This is like big culprit on, like, you clean your chain, you re-lube it, looks clean, and then like 5, 10, 20 pedal revolutions later, you look down, your chain's fucking like just how it was. Usually because there's a bunch of buildup goo and junk on these pulleys, and the chain passes through that. And then you're back at square one. So just take, you know, a second, wipe it off. And guys, your bikes don't have to be like Ferrari clean to work perfectly. They just need to be pretty clean all the time, not meticulously clean once in a while. Keep an eye on your chain wear. Get a chain checker. This is like the best investment tool ever, because your chain's the first thing to go in the drivetrain. So if you keep an eye on it and preventively change it, you get a lot more life out of the more expensive drivetrain components, like your cassette, chain rings, back sides of the chain rings. You're gonna get dirty, so if you don't like getting dirty, don't wear clothes that you care about. Because once that shit gets bike grease on it, it's bike clothes now, okay? And then if you don't want it on your hands, wear gloves. Get you some, you know, painter's gloves or medical doctor gloves, whatever, latex gloves. And yeah, or some good lava soap. That stuff works really well. All right, frames clean enough. So the cassette, as long as it's not like built up, you're good. But if you want that shit to look nice, take your towel, take the edge of your towel, pull it tight. Let's see if I can get this. And floss it. Just start at the top, go down the pyramid. People always ask about your high gear and low gear, and they don't ever seem to get it. It took me a while too, so it's all good. But if you think of it in terms of speed, high speed, like high miles per hour and low miles per hour, your gear that is your high gear is high speed, so the smaller cogs, and your low speed, low miles per hour, are the big cogs. And that's for the rear. In the front, it's opposite. Your big ring's your fast ring, and your small ring's the slow climbing one. But no one ever gets those wrong. It's the ones in the back that, hey, out of my tools, that people seem to not be able to get straight. So think of it in terms of speed, and that's what I'm slow, guys. That's it. I can own that. It's all good. It takes me a while to get shit. I like to have people show me things. So high speed, low speed, high gear, low gear. And that's how I get shit. Seeing someone that knows what the fuck they're talking about show me at a reduced speed. I'm visual. IKEA is not visual, alright? Those fucking instructions suck. He needs to take one last vacation and invest a little more into the goddamn instructions on IKEA furniture. Maybe, and that could just be my lack of experience on building IKEA furniture, but the times I have, it was a nightmare. That was all spoken out of sheer ignorance. So if you're a IKEA specialist and I'm wrong, speaking from ignorance there. All right, so we got a pretty clean cassette now. Again, pretty clean all the time, not meticulous once in a blue moon. All right? All right. All right, next. Now that we got most of the goop shit off, now we just wipe the wheels down real quick. And clean your brake surface. And your rim. Whoa, whoa. Everyone calm down. Calm down. Clean your hub. And this is just aesthetics. Like, that's not gonna make you win or lose a race or have a good ride unless you just like, you like looking fresh, which, you know, that's understandable. It's nice looking fresh. However, it's not gonna make you go faster. A clean bike though, with no goop and shit on it, that is a little bit of a performance. All right, so the rear wheel's clean. Folks, taking the rear wheel off is no different than the front wheel. Put it in the small cog, so again, the high, small chain ring. The low. I just always tell people small, small. What that does is it takes the tension off of the derailleur, and you also know when you go to reinstall it which cog exactly to rest the chain on, because there's this alignment issue. So whichever gear it was in when you took it off, you need to put it on that cog when you reinstall it. So small, small to take the wheel out in the back, and that takes the tension off the derailleur, and it lets you know which gear to rest the chain on when you go to reinstall it. All right, double check your brakes caliper is even. Give it a squeeze and make sure the pads hit the rim at the same time. All right, I'm not done with the back. I'm not going to deal with the front yet. I want to clean the chain. I like to kind of put it in the middle. And again, this doesn't have to be meticulous. Like, it just needs to be pretty clean all the time, not really clean once in a blue moon. I'll say it again. I like to make the outside like really clean first. And if in between the links, hold on, you can see that. In between, where are we at? Oh. The links, a lot of times will build up a lot of goop, that little space. If I find one of those spots, I'll take a little more time to get that out. Back and forth till it's shiny and silver again. Unless you're rocking that gold chain. I'll go 2 or 3 full revolutions around before it's nice and clean. I'm pinching it from the backside too, applying pressure backwards. If you try and clean it forward, you're just pulling the derailleur cage down. So go backwards with the pressure, let go, pull up, pull hard back, pull hard back, pull hard back. Once I start seeing it pretty clean, find a new clean spot on my towel, and I pinch it top to bottom. Same method, pressure backwards. And again, like, you can pull the chain off, put it in a clean tank, air compress it out, whatever you want to do. A lot of people will say don't put your chain in there, it displaces the grease that's inside. I've been doing that method for a long time. It's my preferred method to get a chain like super clean. You just have to re-lube it really well afterwards, wipe off the excess. Now there's like shit that you can't get inside the links. If you've got lots of extra time and you're anal, you can take like a shoelace, or they make at bike shops big fat shoelaces that you can actually floss in between there. Not super necessary, you know. If you're not making a living doing this, don't lose your mind over it. Spend your time more wisely and go play with your kids. Hug your wife. That's why it's easy to keep it pretty clean all the time, because you just do a little bit maybe after every other ride or something, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you know, it stays in a really nice condition, as opposed to wait until it's fucking a nightmare and then you've actually done a lot of damage to your drivetrain prematurely. So just a little bit consistently. Consistency? What? You do a little exercise every day instead of a whole lot once a month or once a year, and get on some bandwagon you can't stay on? Find what's reasonable. You can do 5 minutes after every ride, or 5 minutes after every 5 rides, but just stay consistent and your bike will work better. You'll find problems even though if you don't necessarily know what it is. Sorry if y'all couldn't have heard that, didn't realize. Alright. Now it's not going to be the cleanest bike at the race today, but I bet it's going to work just as good as every other bike out there. you know. So chain lube. As long as you got a clean chain before you lube it, because that's crucial. You don't want to lube a dirty chain. That just makes the situation worse. I've probably got like 5 chain lubes on hand. Like, I don't even care which one I use at any point, unless it's like particularly gross outside on maybe the gravel bike or something. But as long as it's clean and not over lubed, it's fine. Like, don't lose your mind about it. If you want to have a more efficient drivetrain because you think it's going to save you 2 watts and that's a big difference to you, let's use logic, guys. Like, lose 3 pounds and increase your FPT by like 5 watts. Like, your chain, as long as it's not worn out and not gonna break on you, that's all that matters. So there's 2 sides to this chain checker. This one is by Park Tool CC 3.2. Not sponsored by them. I don't give a fuck. I've got like probably 3 or 4 different chain checkers. This was just the first one I grabbed. But it's 0.5. That's like the least worn out. 0.75. So you check 0.5. So it fell in, but then you give it this kind of motion, and if you have a little bit of play, like I don't really, there's not hardly any play, you can check the next measurement of wear, and it doesn't fall in. So it's probably like 0.6, which is still good. I don't even know how many miles I have on this chain. I think it's still the original chain. So I probably have got at least somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 miles on the chain. Some people only get like 1,000 because they don't clean it ever, and it gets super worn out prematurely. Man, it's 17 minutes. Sorry.